Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome back to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Pepper.
And what are we doing today, Pepper?
We are giving our first impressions on Sniper Elite, the board game, which is based on a video game, which I assume neither of us has played.
I have not played the video game myself. And I know you have not.
I have not. Oh, you don't know anything.
But yeah, this is a one versus many deduction, hidden movement deduction style game.
Yeah, one person is the sniper, kind of going in trying to foil these, I guess, Nazi plans. So the sniper is the good guy here. Mm-hmm. Where usually I think hidden movement, the single player is not the good guy, but in this case he is. So yeah, he's kind of sneaking around, trying to shoot the enemies, as well as kind of get objectives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's got a very simple, I think, structure to follow as what the turns are, and I think I've only played it once, and I think it might have been a little bit longer because it was the first play. But I think it would be a pretty quick game too. Yeah. Once you kind of know how to play it and kind of what you're going to try to attempt to do anyway. As you get more and more comfortable with the game, feels like one that would be decently quick.
Yeah.
This was one you ended up getting. Another surprise that you got.
This, along with Return to Dark Tower, were on the Dice Tower's anticipated games for however many years ago that actually
Probably.
was.
Yeah.
And I was so stupid to believe, maybe I can get it for that year. This will come in April that year. Fast forward a whole another year. Whole another April, and it is finally here. And so I was very much anticipating this. I watched their playthrough, watched it a couple times. They have multiple playthroughs. And I just really loved how clean it was. Some hidden movement games that I see, like Spectre Ops, I think has a lot of different abilities and effects. I think, at least from what I've heard or seen or read.
I don't know much about Spectre Ops, so I don't know.
After playing Jaws, I had kind of looked into that one a little bit for another hidden movement game, and it just felt like a little too much going on, not very clean, where this one looked very clean. Also kind of has a bag building aspect to it, in addition to that, where you can kind of make shots at the enemy, and I was very excited for this game. Near the top of my anticipated games list.
Yeah, I think, well, I know that our tastes, especially I think yours, have changed a decent amount over the last 2 years, and I think the ones that we find are very exciting to us, or we're like, oh yeah, I'd really want to try that. I think they're very much going almost in opposite directions, because something about this, I get it because it's based off of a video game, but I assume the name Sniper Elite. So I get why they used it, but that title sounded so generic.
Oh, yeah.
And the cover and stuff just made me think, this looks and sounds like one of the most generic games.
Generic movie hero on the front.
Because I tell you what, some European country or town name is definitely not generic. The ones that I like, but no, there's something about this that just was like, looks interesting. not so much, but so I'll say I wasn't as excited about it, but I think Tom said that from the Dice Tower said that it was his favorite. One of those types of games. So I was like, okay, we had played Jaws. I think that's the closest thing probably to this, and I enjoyed my time with Jaws. I knew that one felt like sometimes it went a little longer than it needed to for being based on an IP. It just kind of drags on a little long, I think, sometimes. Not that it was awful long, but I liked everything in the game overall, but it just, it felt like it went a little long, so I was wondering if maybe this one would feel a little quicker and like, kind of finish in a better amount of time. It didn't feel like it dragged type thing. So
Yeah.
I was hopeful for that, but at the same time, I would say my desire or excitement for the game wasn't too high
No, okay.
going in.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, like we said with Jaws, Jaws is one of my favorite games. I mean, I just wish we played it more. So that was kind of the hope with this game, was to be a maybe quicker, more approachable, hidden movement game that you would actually want to play a little more often. And I still hope that, because I really, really, really enjoyed this game. With our one play, and I played as the defenders, which, I mean, I think usually the more exciting is the single player. So even playing as what I assume is the less exciting half,
Right.
I really, really enjoyed the game, and it has met my expectations, for sure. And I even got to have kind of the sniper defender ability, so I did get to pull shots from the peg, even though it
yeah.
completely backfired.
it did. Well, not the first one.
Yeah, the first one did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did actually get a little taste of firing from that shot bag, which was fun.
Yes, but yeah, I also enjoyed my play quite a bit as being the hidden sniper going around the board and whatnot. 'Cause yeah, I do really like that part of the game. And recently we did play Jaws, and I got to play the shark as well, which I found I do find that part of it exciting to try to sneak away from the other players or your one opponent, depending on how many people are.
Yeah.
Because you could have multiple people kind of play that, or just have a kind of one-on-one as well, where you're controlling more players or more pieces.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did enjoy that quite a bit, even though I would say as a sniper I didn't take that many shots.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had done it a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
But
Although
because I do like
you really rushed in the first half.
I really rushed because I don't know that I'd watched like a full playthrough, so I didn't really have a feel of what how long should this take me, but it just felt like I should probably get this. Kind of like I said, and return to I don't know if it's out there yet, but Return to Dark Tower. I kind of said how first impression. I kind of said how I like to try to get the goal done as quickly as possible. So I think I literally did it in the minimum number. I got to my first objective that I had to complete. And I felt like it was all going good, and even a few turns after that, it was going pretty well for me. And I don't think you had really hit on too much outside of knowing I was in a specific zone.
Yeah, the first half of the game, I had no clue, except that you were in red.
So, yeah, it felt like at that time I had a pretty big advantage. Yes, then I got to the point where I did finally get to draw out of the bag, and it kind of, you had gotten to draw out of the bag, which backfired on you, and then I drew out of the bag, and it kind of, in a way, backfired on me. I did hit the shot, but I also let him know that I was one space away from where the shot happened,
so
because it was a very bad pull.
Because, you drew like 4 or 5 tokens, and you have to get a shot token for every space that you're shooting through, and you only got 1. And your shot was successful, so I knew that you were right next to that guy who had died.
So I think that's about where the game turned. I think you had an idea of what I was doing, but then that pretty much solidified kind of your thoughts on that. And I feel like that's where the game really turned. And then I just felt like I was almost stuck. I don't know that there's much I could have done. And maybe like it's one play, and with more plays, I might have been able to figure out ways to kind of mitigate or do something else. But with my limited experience with it, I felt like I kind of got trapped, and then wasn't really a way for me to get out of it.
Especially with some of my abilities, like being able to bring people back onto the board, prevent them from dying.
Right.
You kind of got painted into a corner there.
Right, because and I think that was the only thing, and maybe I can kind of see why it is this way, but you kind of, as a sniper, you can't walk through spaces with people, right? Can't go into spaces with people. And you kind of ended up walling off like all my options. And like you said, some of them, or some of your people you could bring back, so I couldn't actually kill. So there wasn't even like I could shoot them and then run through that space. because then they would respawn pretty
Yeah.
much in that same spot, so I still couldn't go through them. So I kind of ended up getting trapped, and I think that was my only kind of down point for the game.
Yep.
Because even I tried to be kind of sneaky and go up around the top, and I still was not able to pull that off. And I don't know if I would have been able to, even if everything had gone right. I think he still would have blocked my way.
I might have still blocked your way, but
I might have been able
I think
to do
that's part where maybe my experience watching the videos kind of helped me out, kind of seeing. Because if it was just my first game, I don't know if I would have thought of you possibly going up top there. But with that experience, I think that helped me get an advantage there.
Yeah, probably. Because then I kind of felt like I was just trapped. I kind of wish you could go, and I guess it's one place, so I don't know. It's I'm basing it solely off of that and my inexperience. So I was kind of like, I wish there was a way to enter a space with someone, but then you had to like declare like I went through this specific space. Your guy saw me, type thing. Versus otherwise, you just kind of tell them, I touched a space that was adjacent to the person. I wish you just had to show like, I was in that space at some point, so that you could still kind of go through people. Or something like that. But maybe that wouldn't work.
Possibly.
But
I think that's kind of thematic. I mean,
right. Yeah, you would trap someone in a corner, so I mean, it does make sense.
That everyone would come over there if some guy was shot.
Right.
But I could see those moments kind of getting trapped. But it is a quick game, and I think, you probably should have taken more shots, because the more kills you get, the better your bag becomes.
Yeah, I think that was probably it.
You kind of started off the opposite. You got your objective, which added bad tokens to the bag, which let me get close to you, to spot you, to add more bad tokens, and it just kind of got worse and worse for your bag.
Right, yeah. I don't know that either of us, the times we did pull from the bag, I don't know that any of us did it exceedingly well.
No.
Not that the bag was full of a bunch of good stuff, but I don't think either of us... Because you got to take 2 shots.
Because I drew, like, the first shot, 5 of the 6 that I drew were bad.
and it starts, like, even, doesn't it?
Yes. Starts with...
So at that point, I think it was still pretty much even.
Yes.
So it's not even like you were drawing from a loaded of bad
So that was just a bad draw.
Right. And I think even I pulled from... Still, I think there was only one bad thing in there at that point, so... Or one extra one. So it still was a horrible pull of like 4 bad to 1 good.
Yeah.
So we did not get very lucky with those. But I maybe should have, looking back at it, knowing more, I probably would have played it a little bit differently than I did.
Yeah.
But, I was just thinking, if I can get this done that quickly, then I can just run back across, kind of take the same route that I took. Because at the time, I think that corner was pretty open that I was going to.
Yep.
But then you just...
I just randomly decided to go
going
up there
that
and
way
put
versus,
dogs up there. And
I feel like if I had just gone out and kept going, if I had gone on the left side of the board, I probably would have been able to do it, or had a lot better chance of doing it, because you left that pretty bare, but I mean, there were still people, but it definitely was not the roadblock that you created over on the other side.
Yeah.
But I guess that wasn't really solidified right away, but then once you saw that I shot that person, then it really was.
Yeah. Yep.
Overall, I still really enjoyed it, and I do wish to play this one again, play it some more. I'd be interested. I wasn't sure, because I did watch more. Once you did say you had it, I did watch a little bit more of the most recent time that the Dice Tower played it. And I was like, it's pretty interesting. So I was a little more into it then, but still, I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah.
But now I totally lost my train of thought of what I was going to say. You can talk about it some more.
Yeah, I mean, met all of my expectations. So again, we've done a few videos now, and this is going to be the third 10 I'm giving for a first impression.
Wow.
It's pretty much everything I want from a hidden movement game. And you have loads of special abilities for the defenders. Instead of just outnumbering them and kind of having the advantage there, you actually get special abilities and actions that you can use. Then we got the expansion, so we got 2 additional maps in addition to the flip side of the base game map that there is. The expansion also adds special abilities for the snipers as well, so I forget what the one you used was. I think maybe you can take an additional shot in a turn or something like that, which could have possibly helped, and I could see that changing up the game quite a bit. But yeah, just lots and lots to explore, and I'm very, very excited. Did you think of what you were going to say?
I did think about it, actually. So in that game, they had, I think, 3 people playing against the main person. I did not know that when we played it, that you would still be playing all 3 of those characters versus the one. I was wondering if the board was going to shrink and it was going to be. But I think I do like that it was, you still kept the whole board versus having to shrink down into just like a couple of those areas. I suppose it wouldn't really work then with objectives. So it does make sense.
Yeah,
but I wasn't really sure how it would change with 2 players, but I suppose it can be. Luckily, it can be the same. Yeah, kind of like Jaws, where you can play with.
Yeah, and it's still not too much to handle for the defenders.
Yeah, I would probably give this one 8 or 8.25. After as a first impression, I could definitely see it going up with more plays, possibly getting more experience with it and kind of understanding those things. But yeah, I'm trying to think if it did start to feel like you could just pretty much block them off every time. I think that would be a little not as fun. I could see it not being as fun then for the sniper. It'd make it very, very difficult for them, I think, which I think I do like the challenge because, like I said, that first half of the game, you didn't hit on almost anything. So it's not like you had the advantage the entirety of the game. Just once you did get your advantage, you pretty much locked it in and got yourself the victory. Yeah, I think this one's a solid game. Good choice, Pepper. Good anticipated game.
Yes.
In 2018 or whatever. Who knows when it came out. But yeah, that is Sniper Elite, the board game. Generic. No.
The board game. That might be the best game we have with the board game in the title.
It probably is. I would agree.
I don't know if we have any others. I think Jaws is just Jaws.
Jaws, the board game. But yeah, if you've played Sniper Elite, the video game, let us know below if it's a solid video game, maybe. I don't know that we'll actually check it out, but it'd be interesting to know. But yeah, otherwise, we hope to see you on the next video. And as always, don't forget to
keep on nibbling
on our content.